This podcast is part of the Zeo to Hero podcast network. Hello, all my beautiful people. It's time for another episode of If You Give a Data podcast. And I am just going to say thank you to everyone who is here listening right now. Whether this is your first time or maybe you've been listening for a long time, we appreciate you being here today. Right, Nick?
We do appreciate it, like you said. And we got a really exciting episode for you today because this episode, the interview that Jared has, it's the first time that he's ever done a solo interview.
Right. Well, he's done some solo, but nothing like long form. Like,
yeah, you know what I meant.
I found a few, like maybe like 15 minutes or a bunch of them, like a couple minutes long. But this one's actually, we got to sit down for like an hour and just talk, and it was really cool getting to know my guest. And I'm sure everybody knows who I'm talking about because that's why you're here today. I'm talking about Adam Tuominen, and he is the Crimson Thunder Ranger. And I am just excited for you guys to hear this one.
I'm really excited too because I did not watch the show that he was on. So while you're talking to him, I'm going to go watch every episode.
Hey, you can do that. That's totally doable, right?
Yes, because I can pause while you're talking.
All right. And if you guys are as excited as we are, then let's get this show on the road.
If You Give a Dad a podcast.
Whoa. Hey, Dad.
Bodacious, yeah.
And that's where Beerus was created.
Oh my gosh. It was the best experience of my entire time in wrestling.
Hunky Dory.
Seriously?
I think you said Undead Assassin so perfectly.
Where you kind of like cocked your head to one side and you're like, wait a minute, you was a witchman?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did the series The Beauty.
Jared, that was beautiful.
It was Deadpool, but if Deadpool were, Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger.
Bruh.
I did those on my own, and I got in trouble for them.
Oh, no.
I'm a fine, upstanding citizen. I don't know what you're talking about, Bert.
And just a reminder before we get started here, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to iGadap wherever it is you're listening. Hit that notification bell so you are notified when a new episode drops. Also, make sure that you go out there and rate and review this episode. Tell me what you think of it. And the more people that do that, the more likely I am to be recommended to somebody else. Now, on to the show. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the show. My name is Jared. I am the host here at If You Give a Data podcast. And I have a really cool guest here with me tonight. It's one that I've been looking forward to doing for quite a while. He is an Australian actor who has played in different movies like Escape from Pretoria, The Last Grind, A Second Chance, Raising the Bar. He is also really well known for the one reason that I kind of brought him on here and know him from, and that's from Power Rangers Ninja Storm. And he played Hunter Bradley as the Crimson Thunder Ranger. And I am talking to Adam. Let me see if I'm getting this right. Tuominen?
The Tuominen, yeah. It's Tuominen.
All right.
It's Finnish, yeah.
Man, how are you doing
tonight? Everyone, how's it going?
Man, I'm just, excited to be here doing this, talking with you. This is going to be a lot of fun. We've kind of been going back and forth, trying to get this set up and everything. So we are finally here.
We have it. We do. Yeah, it was a while ago that you asked me to do this, and a few things, life
right.
finds a way, doesn't it? So
right.
Nice to be here and be able to have a chat.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess first off, the one thing you told me, this is actually your first kind of Zoom interview that you've done. So I feel kind of honored that, I get to be your first one that you get to do this with.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did do one a long time ago, actually, in lockdown, where it was the whole cast for Power Morphicon.
Okay.
Power Morphicon. So it was the whole cast, and they got us all on together. But that was, everyone talking over the top of each other, and but it was great to all be there on the same page. But no, it's nice to have a solo interview.
Absolutely. So we kind of met through Colin Bass. He's been a reoccurring guest on the show. I think he has now made it to 3 times on the show. And I was able to get a hold of you and everything because we talked about a little piece of something that you did with him recently, I guess, that hasn't actually come out yet.
Yeah, yeah. The that was at the Morphicon that we're besties now, me and Colin. Going all the way back from maybe about 4 years ago to Morphicon. So they're every 2 years, and we connected, and I saw some of their stuff that they do with the Power Rangers universe, the extended universe, and
Yeah,
things like that. And it's just really, really good, high quality fan films that. He does a really good job of. I love what they do in front of the camera. I love what they do behind the camera, and that's where we connected. And I sort of said, "Look, I've seen your stuff on Instagram, and that's when we became mates." And yeah, he's a really good bloke. So every time I come back to the States, we're always trying to catch up as much as we can. So,
right on.
but yeah, he's a good guy, and he introduced us together to have a chat as well.
Yeah. He like I said, I've talked to him a whole bunch, and he had nothing but good things to say about you. And when I told him we were doing this tonight, he was like, "You're gonna have a blast." And so yeah.
Yeah, we do. We always have a good time together, and yeah, no, he's a really good guy. I look forward to catching up with him again, and maybe we can catch up again next time I come to. Are you in LA? Are you?
No, so I'm actually right in the smack dab middle of the United States. I'm in Arkansas, actually.
Arkansas.
So
Right.
yeah, so
I've been to Warrensburg, Missouri before, so I don't know how far
okay.
away that.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that was.
just a neighboring state there.
Yeah.
I'm at the home of Walmart, so like the home
Okay.
office for Walmart
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah. No.
we've got them everywhere here. There was and it was funny because there was a new Power Rangers toys that just came out. It was the Reignition. I'm sure you've seen them advertised because they're advertised
Yeah.
everywhere right now. And I have three within maybe 10 minutes of my house. And we were one of the
Yeah.
last ones to get them in. And so I just found them this last weekend.
Great. Yeah, Walmart. I think I saw a few of those when because we were there for StealthCon. It was actually one of the first conventions I ever did.
Okay.
Probably about 15 years after I'd finished the show,
Uh-huh.
because we never really came over after doing the show. And so StealthCon in Warrensburg, Missouri was my first one, which was a bit of fun.
Oh, wow.
And Jorge and I, Navy Thunder, we were out there together for the first time, and that was the first time we caught up.
Yeah.
Probably yeah, it was 15 years after the show finished, so it
Wow.
was pretty crazy to catch up after that. Nothing's changed.
Right. Well, I did listen to the interview that you did with Nakia and Kat. You
Oh
said that
yes,
after the show wrapped, everybody kind of just went their own way. And so it was quite a
yeah.
while before you actually, kind of reconnected.
Yeah, it was a long time. I mean, Glenn and Jason and I, we were all, well, Glenn McMillan lives in the same state in Australia as I do, so he lives in Adelaide. We both live in Adelaide, where I am right now in South Australia.
Okay.
And Jason is also Australian, and we didn't catch up for a while, but Glenn and I caught up at a couple of football games because we both go for the same AFL team. I don't know if you've ever seen AFL, which is Aussie Rules Football.
All right.
Yeah, we go for the Adelaide Crows, so we've caught up at a couple of games since then. And his dad actually sold my dad's house, so that's how connected we were in this particular state. But the rest of them, because we all lived in different places, we all went back there, and we never went and did any conventions because it was the first Disney one, and they were still sort of teething, if you know what I mean. They were
Right.
they were getting to know how this was going to work, and so we all went back, and I did some stuff. I did a film when I got back, and we saw. I was in Sydney, and Jorge went back to Canada, and Pua and Sally were in New Zealand, and Jason was in Singapore, and Glenn was back in Adelaide. So after the show, we were all in different places. So
Oh, wow.
we t- we it was a while till we all sort of got back together. But then I moved back to Adelaide, and Glenn and I reconnected,
Yeah.
and then about 12 years later, Glenn and I mean sorry Jorge and I ended up doing some conventions together when I started doing my first conventions.
Yeah. So what was it like, that first experience getting to the conventions? Were you prepared for the amount of people that were going to be there to see you?
It was interesting because, when we first did the show, we there was no social media, so it was all handwritten fan mail.
Right.
I was doing plays back in Sydney, and fans were finding out where I was doing them, and they were actually sending letters to the theatre for me to read. And so before social media, it was quite quiet when it comes to your fan base. You don't really know
Yeah.
what's going on. So for me, I was getting a bit of fan mail here and there, and then social media came up, and I went on Facebook and started getting a few people friend requesting me, and that's when I started to think, hang on a second, maybe there's a little bit of fame in this. Maybe some people do remember us from the show,
Yeah.
and then I got to the convention and realized just how big it was, and how amazing the fan base is, and how incredible the show is, and how many people it actually reaches, how many different countries.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I remember one day I got a twin brother who's a mechatronic engineer, so we're very different people.
All right.
I went into acting, he went into engineering. He's been working for like BAE Systems and all these sort of big companies, and he was in France at the time working, and he called me to say that he was watching me at like, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning, dubbed over in French. So that's when I sort of realized, oh, maybe there are a few people out there that know the show and know what we did on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing the conventions was amazing, to actually feel it over there in the States, and
Right.
and realize how much we'd impacted fans.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of like to ask a few of these questions when it comes to the conventions because I've gotten some funny answers.
Yeah.
One of these is what's the weirdest thing that you've been asked at a convention?
Well, weirdest thing I've been asked at a convention. Okay, so I often get asked like real small details about what I felt in these moments and things like that, and I'm like, oh gosh, it's tough to go back 20 years and remember.
Right.
But I think I think the yeah, weird things is like where the weirdest is when people come up and they start reciting the scenes for you,
Oh
and
yeah.
they want you to and remind you of what you said, and so
Right.
sometimes I go back and I'll watch a few things so that I can join in with them, you know what I mean? And I think one of the weirdest things is one of the young kids came up and he actually recited the whole advert for when we were going to be debuted on the show, and so he came up and
Okay.
he did it with all the sound effects and everything, and I'm like, wow, this that they really remember the details, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, I never really felt anything was too weird.
Right.
It was just, more that they remember so much from what we did back then, and us as actors, we go on and do other things, and then to come back and try and remember some of the weird stuff that happened on set.
Right.
It's tough to remember the details, but the more and more conventions I do, the more and more sort of clarity I get on what happened back then and
Yeah.
when we're doing the show. But look, when it comes to weird things, I think, maybe when they asked me what was some of the funniest stuff that happened on set, like Pua used to run around in his underwear when we'd finished a 15-hour day of shooting just around the camper vans, just
Yeah.
making everybody laugh. I mean, we were so
Right.
tired. We'd done a 15-hour day, and he'd run around in his Y fronts
Yeah.
and just come in, run into your own caravan and start dancing around and making everybody laugh. So I think when people ask me what was weird about set. Those sort of things were hilarious, and but no one's really asked me anything that's too confronting, if you know what I mean. Like not anything that I wouldn't want to answer.
I got you.
I find it weird when they say, "Oh, you're the best ever Red Ranger to be on in the Power Rangers franchise." I'm like, "Yeah, come on, stop." But
Well,
yeah, no, look, yeah,
well, you guys were, the first ones to, if I'm remembering right, to have not one of the just a basic color. You actually were the Crimson Ranger, and the
yeah.
Navy,
You mean the Thunder Rangers? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And so
I
I
think
always
that I
found
think
that
they
really cool.
Yeah, I think they wanted to. Well, obviously, it comes from the Super Sentai versions, and I
Yeah.
don't know if you've ever seen our version of Super Sentai, but it's really, really cool. And so, whenever I look back on it and go, look, if there was any series I'd want to be in, I love Ninja Storm. I love the fact that there was two Red Rangers.
Yeah.
If you can call Crimson Red, a lot of people, there's two sides to the coin. A lot of people think he's not red. A lot of people think he's red. I believe he's
Right.
red because he's the leader of the Thunder Rangers. But it
Absolutely.
was cool to have a couple of us in that were, sort of showing that bravado of the team leader and
Yeah.
what came out of that when Pua and I would act on set together.
Yeah.
There was that dynamic, but we got along so well because Pua was such a great guy, that that was real acting. We it wasn't like we didn't get along on set. Like I know
Yeah.
there's been other people on set that haven't got along together, that are
Right.
touted as the big rangers on set. We loved
Yeah.
hanging out. He was a really good guy, and that all that bravado in some of those episodes where challenging each other is acting. It's
Yeah.
we love each other, and we love the fact that we got to show that sort of alpha male competition.
Yeah. Well, and Hunter was more or less trying to protect his people, his family,
Yeah,
in this.
yeah,
And so that a lot of that, it wasn't just that he was just protective of his own, and I
yeah,
mean
yeah.
I know that caused a lot of riff between those two characters, and
Yeah.
so I mean, I like I said, I was listening to your interview that you
Hmm.
did, and I liked the way that kind of presented that, because some people might have thought that Hunter was a jerk, but he was
Yeah,
doing what he could because he was having to take care of his family. He was the leader
exactly.
of his family.
Yeah, and anyone that does have a family, you realize what you go to, if there's trouble, and everyone used to say, "Oh, how did it feel to be an evil ranger?" And I'm like, he wasn't really evil. He
No.
was just misunderstood. I mean, he
Yeah.
was he was trying to protect his brother. He was trying to protect the legacy of his family, of his parents, and I think that doesn't make him evil. That just makes him, a protector, and I think that's where I got the character of Hunter
Yeah.
immediately when I read that side of it. That we read the first three episodes, and you think we're bad, but then you
Yeah.
realize we're just trying to not revenge, but right or wrong.
Yeah.
Our parents got killed, and
Right.
if that sort of if that happens in that situation, you're gonna try and protect the rest of your family, and then you're gonna try and work out what happened and bring that person to justice, which is what
Absolutely.
most superheroes do. And that's why when people say to me, "How was it to be evil?" I was like, "Well, we weren't really evil. We were
Yeah.
just lied to, and
Yeah.
then set against the people that we should have been friends with in the first place."
Right. Right. So we're going to kind of switch things up here just a little bit and talk about
Yeah.
some of the other stuff that you've done. And I want to get a little bit more background on you and
Hmm.
how did you get started into this career? Because you've done some really
Okay.
cool stuff. I found different movies and stuff that you've been in.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so where did you get your start?
Okay, so well, basically, I went to an all boys school here in Adelaide.
Okay.
White socks up to the knees. But there was a drama class, and there were seven people in my drama class. And I remember it started all the way back when I was in year 11. I got a Friday detention in drama, which
Uh-oh.
is, like, go to detention on the Friday, and the teacher said you can either have the detention or you can go in the school play. And I went, I'll go in the school play, not knowing that it was going to be 3 nights a week, instead of just the one. But I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
every minute of it. I had a small role in a play called Servant of Two Masters, and so my start was on the stage. And then I went in and did year 12 drama, and we had a long service. Our teacher leave for long service, and a new teacher came in, and he did Waiting for Godot with us. I'm not sure if you know the play. It's an existential play, an absurdist play by Sam Beckett,
Okay.
and I did that. And he said, "You got some natural ability. You should try out for NIDA." And NIDA is the National Institute of Dramatic Art here in Australia. So I auditioned for that. There's like 3 days of auditions. About 3,000 people audition for it for 25 spots a year, and I managed to get in.
Wow.
So that was a 3-year theatre course. So the people that have been to that school are like people like Mel Gibson, Kate Blanchett, Sam Worthington, Sarah Snook. So that's a few name drops there for people that
Wow.
have
Yeah.
attended that school. And so
That's
I got a
impressive.
degree in acting. Yeah. And so that's where it started. I did 3 years of that, and I'm not some people don't know, but Jason Chan and I were in the same year at that school. So we both got
Oh,
into that year
yeah.
together. And then our first big gig was Power Rangers straight out. Well, I did a couple of things before that, like
Yeah.
some guesties on some series and stuff. But yeah, that was our big gig, and both Jason and I got the part in it, so we already knew each other, so we were stoked because we were already mates. We'd
Yeah.
spent 3 years at drama school together, and then we get to go around and start flip kicking around on the Power Rangers set in New Zealand,
Yeah.
with Disney. And that was pretty crazy. That was quite a wild ride, 22-year-old
Yeah.
living on
Yeah.
the 30th floor of a hotel in New Zealand, having a good time. But yeah, that's basically how I got started. And so when you do a theatre course like that, you get an agent, and then you start auditioning.
Yeah.
And so obviously we got Power Rangers and then a few other big jobs since then. So
Right.
that's how I got into it. It was literally through getting a Friday detention at school.
It's funny how things work like that, right?
I know. Well, so I played football before that. So I played Aussie rules football in the top
Okay.
team at school. And there was actually a crazy day where it all sort of clashed. I was doing 12th night Shakespeare, and I had a full dress rehearsal, so makeup and everything. And then I had to go to football training afterwards, and it was raining, and I
Yeah.
forgot to take the makeup off, and the mascara started running while I'm in a
Oh,
handling line with the other boys, and they're like, "What are you wearing makeup?" And I'm like, "Oh no." And so that was
they
sort of
found
that was
out.
sort of the thing. Yeah, they saw it. Oh yeah, yeah, it was streaming down my face, and I'm going, oh my God. But yeah, in the end, that was sort of the decision I made. I was like, was it going to be sport or was it going to be, acting? And that's when I went,
Right.
you know what? I think I'm going to try out for this acting school, and getting into that acting school was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. It put me on this path, and I haven't looked back since.
Right. Right. So I have a question here, and it's based off of a few different credits that I found for you. Do you have
Mhm.
any background in gymnastics? Because I know you've done a couple of different series that deal with
Yeah.
gymnastics.
Yeah, well, look, the only background I have in gymnastics is that my brother and I probably did a couple of summer camps doing gymnastics because it was just up the road from our house, and
Yeah.
mum and dad were always looking for things for us to do on the holidays so that they could go and work, and we were looked after. So I did do that, did do a bit of that,
Okay.
but I got those gymnastics films because one of my good mates, Clay Glenn, he was the one that wrote them and
Okay.
directed them, and so he got me in on that. And the first one was just a little independent film we put together. Like, everyone sort of did it on their own. When the film started making money is when we got paid. So and
Right.
it went big. It went big. It went quite big. And he got offered a Netflix deal, and he made a few more films. So he would always get me in on those sometimes, and I was like, yeah, oh, that's good because nothing's going on at the moment. But yeah, look, they were a bit of fun. I mean, you can see the growth from when these young girls are when I'm the coach in the first one to then the series is based around these girls now and based around
Right.
my daughter.
Right.
It's time flies quick. At one point you're the young guy, and the next you're the dad.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, I totally understand that. So as we're talking,
Yeah.
today's my birthday, and
Oh, happy birthday!
thank you.
Hey,
Yeah. So I told
you're
this
gonna podcast with me on your birthday. Happy birthday!
thank you. And my dad told me, he was like, "So you're 3 years away from 40 now." I was like, "Man, don't tell me that."
Well,
It goes by fast.
yeah, I know, but I'll tell you right now, I'm 45 now, and 40s are good, man. 40s are
Yeah,
awesome.
40s are awesome.
30s,
Okay.
you're still making your way. Once you turn 40, it's sort of the penny drops. I mean, literally, when you turn 40, I was depressed for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you realize, no, this is the best time. If
Yeah.
you've got yourself set up and your life's going well, 40 is the decade.
Right.
I
Right.
always thought, oh God, I'm going to turn 40 soon. And then now I'm 45, and I'm like, it's been It's been the best 5 years I've had, but that's also because of the people I've had around me, like my wife Stephanie
Right.
and my little pug, and mum and dad have moved to a property in New South Wales, just 2 hours south of Sydney. So
Okay.
we've got them over there, and everything's chugging along well.
That's good. That's good. I've so I my kids, I have two. I've got a boy and a girl.
Wow.
One's 13, one's 14. They'll be turning, 14, 15 this year. And I
Wow.
realized that I'm going to be an empty nester when I'm 41. So I'm like, man, that's still pretty young to be an empty nester. So I'm pretty excited
That
about
is
that.
That's good, man. That's good. You got that done early. The kids now become best friends,
Exactly.
and you've got that out of the way. Yeah, we haven't got kids yet. We're still
Yeah.
giving that a go, but we've got a pug who's like a kid anyway. I mean, she
Hey,
sleeps in between us,
yeah.
and
I've got a Rottweiler and a pit bull, and they're our fur babies. So
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
totally understand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's like a little baby. She was trying to get on my lap before, and I'm like, no, 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 I've got to do this podcast.
Yeah, right before we had to do this, my pit bull got something on her back. It was greasy, and so we had to give her a bath right before I did this, and she
Classic.
hates them. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, we had a Staffy back in the day as a family dog, and he used to hate baths. He used to put the
yeah,
brakes on big time.
oh yeah, yeah. She likes to argue with you. Like she'll get vocal, so
Oh
it
yeah, I love that, man.
it.
I love dogs. Before I
Yeah.
was an actor, actually, I wanted to be a vet, but then I
Oh, okay.
realized, yeah, it was a big love of mine. When I had to do work experience at school, I did it at the zoo here in Adelaide, so that was
Okay.
amazing.
That's cool.
To work at the zoo for a week, and but yeah, I wanted to be a vet, and then I got into acting and that sort of stuff. But I love animals, dogs especially. They're just
Yeah.
we don't deserve them. They're such
Right.
amazing creatures.
Right. I totally agree there. So I kind of off subject here, but I have a friend who
Mm.
he started out as a chiropractor, but now he is also an animal chiropractor. And
Oh
so he
wow.
actually has like his business, and one side of it's human, the other side of it is animal. So he does adjustments on
Oh
like
really?
dogs and stuff, and even
Has he got two
horses.
different rooms for him? So one's the human room, one's the dog room.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
And
crazy. It's brilliant.
he's got to travel to like Africa to adjust like some lions on a safari.
Oh wow.
And
That's
yeah,
awesome.
in
That
Oklahoma,
is awesome.
he actually the Oklahoma Zoo actually has contracted him to do like the adjustments on the animals they have there. And so I've seen
Wow.
like videos of him like adjusting a giraffe, a
Wow, that'd be tough.
bear.
That'd be heavy work.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
big animals.
they are. But I mean, when it comes to love of animals, he's getting to see all of
Yeah.
these really cool, different,
Oh yeah.
even exotic animals, or and even
Yeah.
dogs and horses and cats and all different kinds of things. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
I've talked to him a few times on here, and he's doing some really cool stuff. Sorry,
That's
I,
that
that
is cool.
that was kind of off subject, but you saying that wanting to be a vet kind
I
of
brought up the animal thing. I love
brought it.
animals.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely love them.
Nothing wrong with that, man. So I saw something whenever I was looking into you a little bit, and
Mm.
you're actually an award-winning actor because you got a curtain call award. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe was that
Yeah.
for Frankie and Johnnie?
Yeah, yeah, Frankie and Johnny and the Claire de Lune, which is a play that was also turned into a movie with Al Pacino and Michelle Pfeiffer back
Okay,
in the day, and yeah, that was cool. That was when I just come back from Sydney, and I think I was about 28 at the time, so it was 2 years after I'd come back from Sydney, and just I'd done reunion episodes in 2003
yeah,
for Dino Thunder, and then spent a couple more years in Sydney, and things were not flying very well. It was, you sort of take yourself out of the industry in Australia, and I went and did an American show and came back, and
yeah,
no, nothing was really happening. So I went, I'm going to go back to Adelaide, go back to my hometown, sort of recoup, refresh,
yeah.
and I got back on the stage, and I did Streetcar Named Desire, played Stanley Kowalski, and
Nice.
that sort of, but yeah, I loved it. Those sort of plays, they just, I love doing them. So I did about 10 years here of just doing theatre, and that's when I did Frankie and Johnnie and won the award for that.
Yeah.
That was because the other girl I was doing the show with, we both really worked well together, so that
Right.
translated on stage, and so that was nice to get that accolade. And then yeah, I just continued doing theatre. I did Biff Loman in Death of a Salesman, and then a whole heap of other plays that I love the theatre. As an actor, TV and film will get you your money,
Right.
but theater is where you get fed that acting energy,
Right.
and it's you out on stage for 2.5 hours. No one's going to call cut. No one's going to stop you. You immerse yourself in this character, and you go out and you be that character.
Yeah.
And so that's why I really love getting on the stage. Like I've signed up to do a play. I haven't done a play in 2 years, and the director said, "Oh, are you keen?" And I'm like, "I am keen to get back on the stage." So I'm doing one in January. It's just 10 minute short play,
Yeah.
but there's three different plays going on in three different theaters, and the audience will go to one play, then they'll go around to the next play, and then come around to the next play, and so I thought, what, I want to get back on stage before I go back to Sydney and get back into the big time auditions. Like I've got an audition to do over the next couple of days. So
Yeah.
that agent actually, since I last spoke to you, has asked me to audition for another role in it. So I've got to
Oh,
audition for two
wow.
roles in this series now,
Okay.
and yeah, so that's always positive, when they ask you to do a second audition for something else. Their
Yeah.
interest is high. So yeah, fingers crossed. I'm looking forward to getting back in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stage is where my heart is. That's where I started, and
Yeah.
and I think most good actors that you see have always started on the stage. It's where you
Yeah.
really got to immerse yourself in the world and the character,
Yeah.
and you can go out there and be someone else.
Right. And you saying that the different actors that I've had on here, they
Mm.
always want to go back to the
Yeah.
stage, because you
Oh
can
yeah.
tell that's where the love is, where the passion
Oh
lies, is
yeah.
in the stage.
Yeah, because you spend like 2 months dissecting the play, dissecting the world, creating your character's backstory to make it authentic, and once all that work is done and you've got the lines down, like you learn your lines so you can forget them, if you know what I mean, so that you
Right.
can go
Yeah.
out and say them for the first time when you're on stage, right? You got to know
Yeah.
it so well
Yeah.
that you get your trigger from the other actor as to
Yeah.
what you're going to say. So yeah, in any conversation, like even when we're talking now, like you'll trigger me to say something else because of the way you make me feel,
Yeah.
and or the question you ask me or something like that. So that's what theater's like, for me is you get so into your character that sometimes my wife goes, you're bringing the character back home with you, and that's
Yeah.
bad when you're playing like Stanley Kowalski or someone like that, because he's a madman.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about it. You immerse yourself in this world. You do the research, and then you create this character, and you live that character for that particular time on stage. So that's why most good actors you'll find that always want to get back to the stage.
Right. Right. So I know you are a guy that grew up watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've heard you talk about it,
Yeah.
and same here. I always loved him. Which one was your favorite?
Well, I was always Michelangelo.
Yeah, there you go.
Always Michelangelo.
Yeah.
I even met the original voice actor at one of the shows I did recently, and we were all doing a panel together, and
Yeah.
and I didn't actually know it was him until someone said, you're the voice of Michelangelo, and I went, what? Oh my God, man! Because back when I was what 7 or 8, we
Yeah.
used to play Ninja Turtles, right? And that we
Yeah.
even had a name. My brother was Donatello, because he was the smart one, and
Right.
I was Michelangelo because I was the idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
So
But
actually, funny thing is
hmm.
last year I had him on the podcast. I actually
Oh
got
wow.
Townsend Coleman on here, and
Oh nice.
I kind of threw him off. My listeners have all heard this story, but I love it.
Hmm.
And so I walked up to him because I grew up listening to audio dramas, and so he
Right.
has a lot of different voices that he's done, and one of them was
Yeah.
from a series called Adventures in Odyssey, and it's kind of a Christian based program and everything. But I grew up with
Hmm.
that because I'm a pastor's son, And
Yeah.
so I walked up to him, and he's got all his Michelangelo stuff behind him and all that. And I say to him, I say, you were my favorite character on Adventures in Odyssey. And just that, wait, what? It took him off guard, because he was
Yeah,
expecting me to
because he
say, oh
hasn't
my God,
asked that before.
Michelangelo. Yeah. And so with me saying that, it caught his attention enough to where I've had a few other people from that show on my show. And so I was able to end up getting him on here, and he did the voice on the podcast. I was like, oh my God,
Nice.
I can die happy now.
Yeah. It's crazy because I mean, and to think like for me, like the effect that he had on my childhood, to
Yeah.
think that I'm having that effect on other kids' childhood, it really humbles you and makes you realize that, we're all on the same level here. We're all,
Right.
fans. We're all love what good people bring to our lives, and so when I get told that at conventions, it's very humbling.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go, oh shucks, like that's great because I know how much effect those sort of people had on my life as well.
Yeah.
But that's crazy because he must not get that asked much about that show because people I've done like radio plays and stuff like that. If someone came up and asked me about that, I go, what?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
I knew that I would get him with that. And it's funny because how I found that was there was a lady who went to my parents' church who would give me the old cassettes when the
Wow.
radio station wasn't
Cassettes.
using them anymore. I know. Yeah. I'm aging myself here. So
Oh, don't worry. I remember the cassettes. I remember dial phones and everything,
yeah. Oh, I do too. Yeah. I used to, but I used to make my own radio shows like on cassette tape
Wow.
and
On a
everything. Like,
cassette tape?
yeah, like I wonder if my mom has them somewhere of me.
Yeah.
I did like prizes and stuff, and I would put like all my cousins' names in a hat and do a
That's
drawing.
awesome.
I did everything to make it just as much like a real radio show as I could. And I was the
Yeah.
DJ.
Yeah.
I was the host of that show. So,
Yeah. I remember,
but
I remember when we got our hands on a video camera as kids, and you'd have
yeah,
to edit it because it was a
yeah,
VHS and you'd have to edit it on the camera, and
yeah,
rewind and do the scene again. And, I
yeah.
used to love
The
that.
things that we did as kids, and
I know. We didn't have the tech back then.
right, right. Technology is so much crazier now. I mean, I
Isn't
can
it?
edit everything from my phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane. Um, so when you're not going out for a acting gig, what do you
Mm.
like to do in your spare time?
Okay, my spare time. Well, I don't have a lot of spare time. We have a family business. My dad is actually an artist. You can see the picture behind me there. That's one of
Oh,
his
okay.
little tests. But we make ceramic water purifiers actually. So we've got he's a potter and a sculptor, and he's really good on the potter's wheel. So we make these ceramic urns with a carbon ceramic filter inside. So you put your tap water in the top, and
Yeah.
it goes through the carbon ceramic filter and takes out all your chlorine and your heavy metals and things like that. So I pretty much run that business
Okay.
when I'm not acting
Okay.
and do a lot of work on that. But I love getting to the gym. My wife's a really good tennis player, so
Nice.
we play tennis a lot, and she hits a bat. Well, she beats me. She's a lot better than me. She was very high up as a kid, so that's always good. It means that we can actually have a proper hit together, and we like doing a lot of things together. So my therapy is going to the gym pretty much
Yeah.
every day, just to get the endorphins going, and then I'm working most of the time, and the little pug we love to take out to cafes and stuff, and yeah, that's pretty much my spare time. I fill it up with work a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm running the business because I'm trying to help Dad
Right.
get back into his mainstream art
Yeah.
because they worked so hard for us as kids that I'm pretty much running the business now, so I make all the filters and all that, and that pretty much I'm working pretty much every day. And that's the hard part when you work from home as well. You literally
Yeah.
you work and you go, well, I've got nothing else to do. Let's go back to work. You know? But But other than
Yeah.
that, we love playing tennis. We love getting outdoors. We go for walks. Around our area. We live in West Lakes, which is just down the west of Adelaide. So we've
Okay.
got some beautiful places to walk around there. I used to surf a lot as a kid, but that just it takes up time. It takes up time. So that sort of fell by the wayside. And really, my focus is the gym. I love getting out to the gym and doing an hour and stuff. So
Okay.
if I'm not working, I'm in the gym.
Oh,
And if I'm not auditioning, but then I was doing a lot of plays, and that's
yeah.
that's three days of rehearsal a week. I haven't done one of those for 2 years, so it's been tougher. But we had to pack mum and dad and move them from Adelaide to New South Wales, so that sort of consumed me for the last couple years.
Mhm.
Just trying to help them out in any way I can. Because my brother's in London and my sister is
Oh,
down in Yorktown, which is about 2 hours south of Adelaide. So yeah, they're all in different places. So
oh,
yeah,
wow.
and that's been my life, just helping mum and dad out, giving back as much as I can for everything that they sort of gave us. That's another thing, when I had my wedding speech, I said to mum and dad, you know, it's tough on me because I want to be an actor who's had a hard life, so I've got something to call back on, but we never did, we had a very good, blessed
Yeah.
life. I mean, they,
Yeah.
they made us work hard, but
Right.
no, we didn't have
That
a lot
builds
of problems.
character.
It does build character, if you've
Yes.
had a
Yeah.
few things, but
Yeah.
I think I created some of them on my own back, when I was in my 20s. When I was living in Sydney, I
Yeah.
made it tough on myself.
Yeah. So there's a movie that I believe it's more recently came out that you were a part of.
Mhm.
And I think it was called Emotion is Dead, and then they changed the name to The Last Grind. Uh,
Yes.
kind of talk about that movie a little bit, because I believe you played a major role in that film.
You haven't seen that one?
I haven't got to see it
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, because they changed the name to the Last Grind. Yeah, look, that was another one of those independent films, like a little indie film where the director and I caught up for a coffee,
Yeah.
and I read the script and I was like, this is very far away from anything I've ever done, right? So it was
Yeah.
real bad guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
real real bad guy, and it's not a film for the kids,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I had fun sort of really delving into that character, and we shot that basically on weekends, and then there was a week during school holidays because some of the kids were at school. They were
Yeah.
playing younger roles,
Yeah.
and we just put that together as well, like we did A Second Chance, which is an indie film where you get paid a little bit, maybe nothing until the film makes some money, and even if it doesn't, you end up just doing it for the love.
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of love in that film when we had to shoot over a weekend. We were getting there at 6 p.m. at night. I'd work all day, then I'd get there at 6 p.m. at night, and we would work through till 4 o'clock in the morning. And then
Jeez.
I'd come home, and I remember being jacked up on Red Bull, going, "Oh my God, I can't sleep." And
Yeah.
I'd done
Yeah.
a 18-hour day, but you do it because the end product is what you're hoping for, and that was a fun film. I mean, it
Yeah.
was it was yeah, it was a very very different character. It certainly was the anti-hero, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was a bad guy, but we like to do things that challenge us as actors, and that one certainly did. And I brought the energy in that film. So if you ever get a chance to watch it, you'll have a bit of a laugh.
Oh yeah, I do plan on watching it. I hadn't gotten the chance yet, but I think it's on Amazon, I believe, and so I'm gonna check it
Yeah,
out.
it's on Amazon. They did a cinema release in the States recently, a little while ago actually, and the director went over and did it. It did the tour around Australia as well,
Okay.
to cinemas. So I was getting phone calls from mates that had checked it out and having a laugh at the character I was. Good
Yeah.
old Wayne, the quintessential Aussie bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, kid took his money, right? So
Exactly, I know.
yeah,
See, just misunderstood. Like
exactly.
Gunther.
See, that's
Yeah.
that's just what
Yeah,
keeps
no,
happening. Just misunderstood.
I don't know. I don't know if he got that. If he got the money in the first place, very,
Very honestly,
moralistically.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
get you. So, what would you say is the hardest role that you've had to play?
The hardest role. Look, some of the theater roles, like I had to do a play called "Look Back in Anger," which is about the angry young man, and that was like that was me talking the whole time on stage for 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
and not just talking but yelling. He was an abusive husband,
Oof.
another one of those bad characters.
Yeah.
But it was quite it was an English play. And it's all about, back in the day, the war and some of the men that didn't go to war and they were stuck in the house and they had no sort of what's the word vision or direction and it turned them into abusive, angry
Gotcha.
young men basically. And,
Yeah.
and so that play was just me on stage getting angry at every little thing, and so that was a tough role. But
Yeah.
I think with my film roles, probably Escape from Pretoria, putting on a South African accent was pretty hard.
Yeah.
Actually, at the time, I was doing a play that was in mid uh, a mid English accent, like a
Hmm.
Midwestern English accent.
Yeah.
And so I was doing ADR for this that was South African. Then I was doing an audition for Mortal Kombat in
Oh,
a Eastern European accent. So I
okay.
had three different accents all on the same day. I had the audition, then I had to do ADR, and then I had to go to rehearsals. And actually, it was preview night of the play. So that day
Jeez.
is, doing accents is tough.
Yeah.
It's easy when you've got one to concentrate on. But I was doing this English accent, then a South African accent, and then a Middle East, no, Eastern European accent, like a Russian. And so that was tough. But I think, Escape from Pretoria it was a tough one as well because I mean you're there with Daniel Radcliffe and
Right.
you're looking at Harry Potter going, all right, we're all doing South African accents here. We've all done our work and it was tough because that's an accent. If you don't get it right, everyone can hear it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Man, that movie stressed me out,
Yeah,
because just I mean,
that's
you're sitting there just hoping they don't get caught the whole time, and man,
yeah,
that
no.
movie was crazy. I really enjoyed it though. That
No,
was
it
a
was a
fun
good
one.
movie, and that was shot here in Adelaide as well. So we were lucky enough, I was lucky to get a role as well because the casting agent, they sort of overlooked me to begin with, and then they came
Yeah.
to Adelaide and they were looking at roles, and they went, "Why haven't we seen Adam?" And it was because the director thought my headshot looked like I was a Backstreet Boy, and so
Oh,
I was too good looking for the role. He sort of said, and I was like, "But couldn't you tell him that
thanks.
I was an actor?" And like. So he got me back in, and then yeah, I ended up getting the role for it, which was cool because that was a treat, like to work with Daniel Radcliffe and Dan
Yeah.
Webber and
Yeah.
Ian Hart as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, they were all great. And obviously when you're there with Harry Potter and how huge it is, he and
It's
I sort of struck a chord with each other and we had a lot of chats together and he'd gravitate towards coming to me when we were, waiting for the shot to get set up. And so I
yeah.
got a lot of insight into how Harry Potter was and what it was like for the decade that he had shooting that.
Yeah.
And we're all the same, even him, he's like, we're all cut from the same cloth.
Right.
Just because we do a show doesn't mean we don't have the same struggles that everybody else has in their life, and
Yeah.
and that was one thing that really sort of rung home with me um, working with him.
Yeah.
He's a really, really good guy.
It's nice hearing that about people because you hear bad stories when it comes to people in careers like this and everything, and to
Yeah,
meet somebody like that who is that level and that he's a
yeah.
down to earth
He's
guy,
humble.
that's always really refreshing to hear that.
I mean, considering he's probably one of the biggest characters, recognizable characters on the planet.
Right.
And 10 years of doing films, I was jealous. I was like, you got to work with Gary Oldman, you got to work with Alan Rickman, and
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying to him. He's like, yeah, I know, and it was amazing. And I'm like, I can imagine it was amazing. I think I think he's a Power Ranger fan as well, but it was
Oh,
never
okay.
brought up between. I'm not sure if he actually knew, and because I never really bring that sort of stuff up, right?
Right. Right.
But I'm pretty sure. he was a Power Ranger fan, and we never really spoke about it, but I'm wondering whether or not because he did this little video for a mate of mine for the wedding because this guy's wife was a massive Harry Potter fan, so we did
Yeah.
this little video that we put up on the night because it was during COVID, so he had a lot of guests that couldn't make it, so they all did video shout outs, and so I did one from the set of Pretoria with Daniel Radcliffe in his full
Ah,
beard and everything.
nice.
But that's how good he was, He just he would do whatever, and most of the big stars that I've met,
Yeah.
conventions or work with, all of them are the same. It's just, I guess, when you're in the public eye and people recognize you when you're out and about, it makes it, a little harder to be, yourself,
Right.
because
Right.
everybody's watching. And
Yeah.
I think that's why there's some misconceptions about certain actors being arrogant. It's more that they're in an uncomfortable situation because they're the center of attention, and more often than not, they don't want to be that.
Right. Uh,
And I could tell that with him.
well, and another thing, I mean, there's only so many times you can poke somebody before they're gonna, be like, okay,
Yeah,
leave me alone. That's human
yeah,
nature. And so these people have somebody in their face all the time. I'm sure
yeah,
you've had your
yeah.
share of it, even,
Yeah,
people.
look, I mean, I don't, I'm not bothered by it unless someone
Yeah.
comes up and starts being negative.
Right.
Everyone's my friend until they make me think otherwise.
Right. Right.
But someone like him,
Yeah.
I mean, he would go out into public and he would be absolutely inundated, and
Yeah.
that gets tiring,
It's
and
old. Yeah.
to begin with, when we were shooting the show, he would stick to his own caravan, and then we had the big scene where we were all in the bathroom together and we're cleaning
Yep.
the bathroom and having a
Yep.
chat. That's when he sort of started to open up, and
Right.
that's when we became friends, and he felt like he could be out with the rest of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not because he's arrogant or anything like that. It's just because more often than not, they're a little bit self-conscious about
Right.
everybody looking at them, right?
Yeah.
And just because we're actors doesn't mean that we don't get self-conscious or nervous as well.
Right.
And more
Right.
often than not, I'm more nervous doing things like this than I would be, getting on stage,
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
talk about yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Us
And
actors like to be other people.
right. Yeah. I mean that makes sense. I understand. That. But man, it's a lot of fun to get to do this, to get to see that on my end. Like doing this
Mm-hmm.
interview.
Yeah.
Getting to know the person and stuff, and letting other people
Yeah.
get to know you a little better as well. It was saying that we're kind of coming up close to a close here, and
Okay.
I've just got maybe just a couple more questions for you, and
Good.
then
Go
we'll
for it.
get you off of here because I know you've got
An
you're
audition.
you got an
Two characters,
audition.
two
So
very different
yeah.
characters as well. One of them's like a real slob, and the other one's like a religious zealot. So
Okay.
I've got
Okay.
both
Big
sides of the
difference. Yeah.
coin. Yeah.
So the helmet right behind you. I had
Yeah.
Chris Kamen on the show, and he told me that he's been through a lot of them because they don't travel well.
This
How
is
many helmets have you been through?
this is my original one.
Is it
I
really? Okay.
Yeah, like the first one I got made for, I think I was doing Anime Festival Orlando, and
Okay.
they made me a helmet. So my
Uh-huh.
first ever con, a couple of fans gave Jorge and I their helmets for the 2 days that we did it,
Yeah.
and then someone reached out and said, "Oh, I'll make you one," and they made me this one, and it's lasted. I mean, the
Oh
horn did
wow.
break off.
Yeah.
But I stuck it back on, and I had a friend, well, one of our family members who does motorbike helmets, and
Okay.
they fixed it all up and repainted it, and I take it on as carry-on. So when
Yeah.
I go through the airports, it's funny. I love watching the X-ray machine, and
Yeah.
sometimes you see people react because they know the helmet, and that
Yeah.
and like coming through LA, and I'll see it go through the X-ray machine. I go, "It's you," and I'll go, but yeah, I take it carry-on, so it's always
Okay.
near me. And I never put it through the baggage claim or anything like that because that's where things get damaged.
Right.
You
Right.
know, so I carry it with me through the airport in a hard case.
Okay.
Just I mean, it's probably time for a new one. I mean, this one was just a 3D print, so they did a pretty good job. But
It's very well
yeah,
made. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my original one. I've had this one now for what was it? It was it was 2018, so 7 years.
Okay. Nice.
And that's
Okay.
coming from Australia as well. So when we fly out to you guys either in LA or Orlando, I
Yeah.
come from Adelaide and have to go to Sydney. So that's a 2.5 hour flight.
Yeah.
And Sydney to LA is 14-hour flight.
Yeah.
And then and then if I go to Orlando, it's another 5.5 hours on top of that. So there's a lot of travel involved. So yeah, I've done well to keep it intact.
So there was a comedian that actually kind of had a joke about when you go to Australia, when you fly to Australia
Yeah.
and stuff. This is like a 16-hour flight that,
Oh yeah.
it's so long that it feels like you've died and you've reached heaven once you get there because it's been so long on the plane.
Yeah, but
So
yeah. It is a crazy feeling. It's like, and I must admit, you start to realize as well, the longer you're in the plane, that you're in this metal tube,
yeah.
you know, 38,000 feet in the air
Yeah.
with all these other people, and you're trying to have a sleep and you're trying to relax. And
Yeah.
it's like doing a long drive, sometimes it turns in, you think you're in a video game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
start to lose perspective on reality and stuff. But we've done it many times. It starts to get easier.
Yeah.
The worst one we ever did was we organized, we were coming to Power Morphicon one year, and my wife has her sister over in Singapore
Okay.
and their family. And so she said, let's go to Singapore and then let's go to LA after that. And so we went, and I'm looking at the 3D map on the back of the chair, and I'm like, hang on a second, we're going backwards to go forwards, which turned a 14-hour flight
Yeah.
into a 17-hour flight from Singapore. Apparently, it's the longest flight you can have
Oh
across the
no.
world at the moment.
Yeah.
Is 17 hours in the air, and that was crazy. I mean, that was where you start to, I'm in the bathroom with my legs up against the mirror trying to get the blood out of my feet because you're
Yeah.
getting jittery legs,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's just crazy. It's a crazy to do a flight like that. But I must admit that we get there, and the adrenaline of being in LA, because we love LA, we love
Yeah.
America, we love coming over there. Everyone's so nice,
Yeah.
everyone's so respectful and beautiful, and they treat you really well. So we love coming there, and yeah, when we come there, we sort of get that excitement of being there, and so the jet
Yeah.
lag doesn't really kick in until we're on our way home.
Right. Right.
Um,
Well,
but yeah,
you're also coming from a different climate because isn't it winter
oh yeah.
where you're at right now?
Yeah, well, it's been raining really heavily this morning.
Okay.
I went to the gym just to warm up,
Yeah.
and so we've got some pretty terrible weather at the moment. You guys have
Yeah.
nice stuff.
Well,
Nice.
I mean, I'm in my garage right now, and so
Yeah.
I'm pretty much sitting in a pizza oven because it's
Oh yeah, I can see
almost
the
100
garage door.
degrees. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's almost 100 outside right now. So it's
Wow.
it's
What's 100 Fahrenheit in Celsius?
hot.
Um, yeah,
I'd
yeah.
have to do like a conversion chart on that. I'm not
Would that,
sure.
would that be like 35 or something?
Maybe. Yeah. Hold on. I'll look it up real quick. Yeah. So it's we're right in the dead of summer, and they said that like our heat index right now is
37, 38 where you are. So
okay.
that's like
Okay.
37, 38.
Yeah.
So we,
That
we get that hot as well. We get that hot in summer. But that is
okay.
hot though.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely warm. They said next week we're supposed to see heat index of like 111. So it's gonna
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's 40 plus,
yeah, it's
isn't it? Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah, we get that quite a bit here in Australia as well.
yeah,
In summer,
yeah.
we had one week where it was 40 plus for 5 days straight,
Ooh, that's rough.
which is tough.
Yeah,
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 that's gonna be what 115, 110 plus
yeah,
Fahrenheit for
yeah,
5 days straight.
yeah.
And that's where you crank that air conditioner and you stay inside. You don't really go outside.
Exactly. We actually had in the news there were certain places in the United States because they have what is called like a heat dome that's rested over us right now, and there were
Right.
actual like cities and telling people don't drink like alcohol right now because
Yeah,
it's
because
that bad.
dehydrated.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny that they have to say don't drink.
Crazy, yeah. Here in Australia, they'd never tell us not to drink, but
Right.
like drink lots of beer. But no, that would dehydrate you pretty badly.
Yeah, definitely. So, do you have anything coming up that maybe you want to talk about before I get you off of here?
Well, not at the moment. I mean, I was hoping to get over to the States in November for a Ranger stop in Orlando.
Okay.
But because of these impending auditions, that might put a spanner in the works. So that's
Gotcha.
the only thing I've really got coming up that I would like to sprue because I love coming out there to see all the fans and I've
Right.
done Ranger stop in Orlando before. I always have a good time in Florida.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. At the moment, just these auditions happening, and then I'm gearing up to do this play here in Adelaide. So yeah, things are quiet, but yeah, look, if I get back out to Orlando in November, I'd love everyone to come out and say g'day.
Awesome. Awesome. So if people want to follow you online, see what you're doing and everything, how can they do
Mhm.
that?
Well, I basically, for me, it's just Instagram.
Okay.
So my Instagram, which is adam.tuominen. That's pretty much the only thing I really do. Facebook for me is not really that big.
Yeah.
It's just the Instagram.
Right. Okay. Well, man, I really appreciate you coming on here and talking to me tonight. This has been a ton of fun, and maybe we
Mhm.
can get you back on to talk again in the future.
Yeah,
Or-
absolutely, man.
yeah,
Absolutely. Anytime. Let's chat, and hopefully, if I come to the States and you're around, I'll get Colin to get you out, and
yeah,
so we can catch up in the flesh.
that would be
But
great.
thanks for chatting to me. It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome.
If You Give a Dad a Podcast and its host Jared are part of the Three Ranger Bros Studios. Three content creators join forces to create their own YouTube channel where you can find geeky, nerdy, and fun videos with many different flavours of geekiness. From Power Rangers to video games to story writing, the three bros have it all, including their very own podcast called Within the Writer's Room. Jared, among others, are known as the Council. They're not the Three Ranger Bros, but they are part of the group and are equally important. Make sure you check out the Three Ranger Bros Studios on YouTube or on Linktree, where you can find the Three Ranger Bros Studios YouTube channel and everyone's individual content. It's a lot of fun. We'll see you there.
And we're back. We hope that everybody enjoyed that interview. It was a good time. Learned a lot of things, man. Did you have fun, Jared?
Dude, I had a blast, man. He was so much fun to talk to, and I've got to talk to him more even since doing the recording. He's just an awesome guy, and he just fulfilled everything that I wanted in this episode. So I hope that everybody else that enjoyed it. And Adam, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate you taking time out of your very, very busy schedule because he was actually auditioning for two parts. And his audition had to be done by Friday, and we recorded on I think it was Tuesday for him because time difference. It was funny. I mentioned this in the episode when we recorded this. It was on my birthday, but it was like 8 o'clock at night on my birthday. But it was like 10:30 the following morning for him. So it was Monday for me, but Tuesday for him. But yeah, thank you, Adam, for being on the show. It was great having you.
Yes, good times. And we got lots of cool people going to be on the show, which you can talk about that in a minute. Hey, this weekend, as of this recording right now, we're recording on a Saturday, right? Is that what date it is?
July 26th.
Yep. We're recording on Saturday. As of right now, San Diego Comic-Con is going on. And if you guys are like listening to this episode and you're like, yay, they're going to talk about Comic-Con, we're not.
No.
Mainly because it's going on right now, even though you're listening to this on a Tuesday, because that's how time travel works.
Exactly.
And so therefore you can't listen to us talk about it because it hasn't happened and our present, which is your past, days of future past.
Yes.
But that's okay because next episode, you know what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about the Comic Cons. But speaking of Comic Con and all the guests and people that will be at Comic Con, some of those people they're going to be
Be on.
coming back on the show.
Yeah.
Right?
I've got one that's never been on the show. And then I've got one that is a returning guest on the show. And dude, I'm excited about talking to them because they were both like, let's do this
We got
right
a few
after
return guests.
Yeah, we do. Actually, August has not August I think has at least 3 that I can think of.
Yeah, but we're not going to tell you who those people are.
Nope, you
You'll
gotta wait.
Gotta wait. You gotta wait. Have to wait to watch the socials and see who we got.
That's right.
But they were very popular guests when we were on the show. When they were on the show, and we decided to bring them back for round 2 because some of them got new things to talk about.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah. I will say one thing that I have seen so far. They've already come out with some new Funkos and posted them all over social media, and everybody's already seen those. And so I'm already drooling over here. I can't wait to actually talk about everything that that's going on with San Diego Comic-Con because they've got some really, really cool toys that I want now.
Yeah. Showed, that Invincible versus fighting game that's coming out. They showed that Battle Beast was going to be on there.
Okay.
So that. Yeah. Did you hear about the Invincible versus Battle game?
But no, actually, I haven't heard about that, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think 3-on-3 Mortal Kombat, but with invincible characters.
Gotcha. So kind of like the Power Rangers game too, because it's not really 3-on-3. You can tag out type of game. Is that what it is with this, or?
Yeah. But
okay.
I think you got to like kill all the 3 people on the team before you win the round.
Yep. That's the same way that game is. I've been playing that a little bit, here and there because as everybody knows, I got a PS5 for my birthday. So
how is your adventures in Iga Daps 5?
Dude, it has been so much fun. I was up till almost midnight last night.
Oh, I know you're almost midnight because whenever I woke up this morning, I rolled over and looked at my phone. And I pulled up the PlayStation app and I was like, I wonder what time this motherfucker went to sleep. And I was like, last online 8 hours ago. I was like, this dude stayed up till almost midnight playing PlayStation 5.
I was actually playing Miles Morales. So
I told you had to play the
Hey, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. That one was free. So I went ahead and started playing it, and it's so much fun, dude.
You could literally do what I told you with my thing where we share consoles and downloaded Spider-Man.
I know. I just didn't want to wait. And plus I also was playing have you ever heard of a game called Hollow Knight?
Oh yeah, you talked to me about it yesterday. But yeah, I've heard of it before.
So I started playing a little bit of that, and I suck at that game, but it's one of my son's favorite games right now, and he's really been kind of pushing me to say, you got to play this, try it, you'll like it. And then this morning he texted me, he's like, what do you think? And it's fun. There's a lot of fun games on there. And then I've also just been going back and like playing old games too. God of War. Yeah, I've been playing that.
The original
because it's an HD now. So
yeah, that's true. Can't wait to get to the reboot games.
Oh yeah,
God of War and then God of War Ragnarok. Can't wait to you play those. And those are my favorite games.
Oh, those two, the remake and the Ragnarok, your favorites? Okay. Gameplay wise, is it a big difference?
It is a difference.
Okay.
I don't want to say too much about it.
Okay.
So,
okay. All right.
It is a difference in a way. But yeah. Anyway, I can't tell you. I don't want to.
Spoilers.
God,
okay.
I want to talk about it, but I'll just wait to get there. So, are you going to play like just 1, then 2, then 3, then do the reboots?
That's kind of what I was thinking about doing, but I might just go ahead and once I finish 1, jump into the remake and then do Ragnarok, because those are the 2 that I haven't played. Is those? So I might just right now I'm kind of doing nostalgia and then jump into the cooler stuff here soon.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it'd be faster to talk about.
Yeah.
I knew you were playing Hollow Knight though last night because whenever I went to bed, I was on that. I checked the app and you were playing Hollow Knight, and and because that's why I wondered to myself, how long is this dude gonna stay up? He wants to record in the morning, and then that's why this morning I looked and see what time I went to bed.
Man, I didn't get out of bed till like 15 minutes before the recording was supposed to start. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had just woke up
yeah,
and had looked, and then you text me,
yeah,
and I was just like, no, I'm not awake. That's why. I mean, I'm awake, but I'm not awake, you know?
yeah, yeah. Now I get you. I'm just out here in the garage with my Alani, trying to wake up and talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's how things are going on our end. We don't have like a whole lot of talk about this
Right,
week.
right.
So before we come to a close for today, I just want to do our newest segment, which
Uh,
is
in the
Jared's.
stacks with
Oh,
oh
sorry. That
wait. Whoa, whoa. Okay.
You're like, whoa. Um, in the stacks with Nick, where Nick talks about other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo. Anyways, so if you're an independent author, writer, whatever, and you want me to talk about your stuff on In the Stacks, then make sure you email us at giveadatapodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on our socials with whatever you want me to talk about. Um, so we got us an email that you forward over to me, and this one is a little bit different. We're going to do this one a little bit different than normal, okay?
Okay.
This guy's name is John Spilman. He is a Texas-based author, what Yahoo, um, or Yeehaw, whatever you Texas people say. Texas-based author and entrepreneur with a passion for creating engaging content for children. So he sent us over a picture book, and it explores the magical journey of children losing their teeth in a
Oh,
fairy world.
okay.
So he wanted the book to be reviewed.
Uh-huh.
So let me tell you a little bit about it. It's called The Magic of Flutterville. It is written by John Spillman, and hold on, there's the illustrations are by a different person, and I gotta zoom in on this. Uh, Jovan Pat Padelbron.
There you go.
Jovan Padelbron, sure.
Yeah.
Um, so if you're new to the show, I'm horrible with names. Okay. So here's a little bit about the book. Unveil the enchanted secret of what happens to children's lost teeth in High Tooth Fairy, The Magic of Flutterville. Oh, sorry, my bad. High Tooth Fairy, The Magic of Flutterville.
Mm-hmm.
This captivating picture book, ideal for children ages 4 to 8, takes readers on a nightly journey with charming tooth fairies to the magical town of Flutterville. Here, lost teeth are transformed into glittering powder that powers the town's cozy homes and delightful shops. At the heart of the story are six spirited fairy friends, each with unique talents, who infuse every day with magic. This book is a perfect blend of fantasy and friendship, making it an ideal choice for children curious about their lost teeth, those anxious about losing their first tooth, or families seeking a whimsical tooth fairy tale with a contemporary twist. With vibrant illustrations and a sprinkle of fairy magic, High Tooth Fairy, The Magic of Flutterville offers a comforting and imaginative explanation for one of childhood's most significant milestones. It's a delightful addition to any bedtime story collection and a thoughtful gift for a child experiencing the loss of their first tooth.
Oh, okay.
So, hey, if you give a dad a podcast, we're dads. Um,
Right.
so this book probably wouldn't be something that you would pick up,
Right.
mainly because your kids are teenagers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And your journey of losing teeth is over. However, I have a 4-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter, and my 7-year-old daughter is just losing teeth like crazy. She has no front teeth right now. So you can literally, she can just smile and you could just chunk a grape in there and go if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can't really like, I guess I can review it in a way. It's gonna be a little different.
Okay.
Um, this book, it's really great. It's you kind of have to read it in the lens of a child.
Right.
Obviously, I can't, so obviously it's not my cup of tea because I'm a 30, almost 38-year-old man who likes thriller and horror books.
Yes. Yeah.
But but that's not I'm not the intended audience at all.
Right. Right.
It's for children, and I think for children it's a really great book, especially for the market that they're trying to reach, 4 to 8. I think
Uh-huh.
it's really good. I could see this book being in a dentist office,
Okay.
like how they have like little books or like little highlights or whatever, you know.
Right.
I don't think they have highlights at doctor's office anymore. But magazines and stuff like that. I feel like this should be at all dentist office, man. It's a really good little story. It's really quick,
Uh-huh.
obviously, because it's for children 4 to 8. They can read on their own.
Yeah.
But I really thought it was really good. The illustrations, the art is really good. It's really
Okay.
good. Obviously, it's got a child look feel to the art,
Right.
but you can tell that the artist could probably do some like more stuff that's higher, like
I got
adult
you.
wise, and it would be really good as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really great. The story's really good. John's really got a really great story here
Uh-huh.
of what happens to your teeth.
All
And
right.
so I really like it. I'm not going to give it like a star rating that I normally give stuff just because it's for kids and
You're going to give it a teddy bear rating. Oh, no, wait. Never mind.
that's right.
No.
It gets all of the. It's got 4 teeth out of 5. No, uh, 4 out of 5 dentists would recommend this book.
Oh,
You
yeah.
like that?
Yeah, I
You like
like
that
that.
one?
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's really good, man. I feel like every dentist office should have this book.
Hmm.
If you got little kids, you definitely should get this book.
All of my dentists
Really,
that are listening.
all of our dentist fans.
Yeah,
If you need to get with John, you can just contact us and I can give you John's information where you can get the book from.
absolutely.
It's also on Amazon and then his website. And I'm pulling his website up now. So it is hightoothfairy.com.
Okay.
So hightoothfairy.com. Or you can look on Amazon for High Tooth Fairy, The Magic of Flutterville.
So is
Um,
it HIGH or is it like hello?
Hi, as in hi Tooth Fairy.
Okay, okay,
Hi,
okay.
HI. Um, they
It'd be weird if
also
it was the other one.
that's the adult version.
Oh, okay.
Hi Tooth Fairy.
Yeah,
No kids listen to the book, listen to the podcast, John. It's okay. It's okay
yeah,
for
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Just their
that,
parents.
no, yeah, just their parents.
Yeah.
Uh, they've also created a companion app to the book. It's designed for children and parents to enjoy together. The High Tooth Fairy app gives children the joyful experience of chatting with the High Tooth Fairy friends and helps parents capture the moment of a lost tooth. It's a safe and delightful way to keep the magic going, and you can find it on the App Store. So I'm gonna click on it here. I haven't downloaded it yet, but I did look over it already. Yeah, so it's like on the, I don't know if it's on Google, or whatever you Android people use.
You
Uh,
Android people. I'm
yeah,
an Android people.
I know. So I was specifically talking about you. I was talking to you.
Oh,
I'm talking
okay.
to you on the show
Right.
and
Yeah.
anyone else that's listening. But everything I've been saying is always directed to you. I don't know what. Anyways, um, so this app, it's really cool, man. It's got like those those little things where you talk with AI or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, you can't. So they have like a little thing here, and you pick. There's like 6 fairies here that are in the story: Birdie, Frankie, Lulu, Piper, Tulip, and Winnie.
All
And
right.
your kid can pick one of them and just be like, talk to the tooth fairy about how they lost their tooth and stuff like this. And then there's like these little stories that you can read here. I guess like the book itself maybe, and then like little short stories
Okay.
about each fairy. Then it also can keep track of your uh the kid's teeth when they lose one. Like
Nice.
you can put like what day they lost a tooth, and you can upload a picture and everything, and you can set it up for where you have multiple children on there, and you basically can share those memories. Like it'll make like a little, you can make a little thing where it has like the picture of your kid with the lost tooth, and it has their name, and it says the what date they lost the tooth, and you can like a little image, and you can download that. You can share that on socials or with friends and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah. I
right.
mean,
Cool.
it's a cool little app, man. It's a cool little app.
Okay.
So I mean, it's got good ratings. It's out of 22 ratings, it's got a 4.9. So I mean,
Oh, wow. Okay.
uh,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
good.
So I mean, yeah. So it goes along with it, and I think it's really cool. So I mean, I may end up be buying this book and getting the app for you know for my
For the
kids.
kids. Yeah.
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 So I mean, I don't see why not. But yeah, man, really good
Absolutely.
stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to give it a star rating, but I know that 5 out of 5 dentists recommend. So
Awesome. Awesome.
I've
Well,
talked to 5 dentists, so don't worry.
all five of our listening dentists. Yeah. So,
Correct.
yeah.
All the DDSs.
That's right. Well, Nick, thank you for doing that. I know that one was a little different than what you normally do here, but we are dads, and so we do things a little different here sometimes, and that's why it's called "If You Give a Dad a Podcast." You never know what you're going to hear on here.
Yep, that's correct. And like I said, I'll read anything.
Yeah. So we're coming up close to a close here, and we are going to move on to the final part of the show, and that is where we start going through a little housekeeping here, letting some of the people that help make this show a thing, and who have done really cool stuff with us. So first off, we are part of two awesome podcast networks, and that is the OIW Podcasting Network and the Zero to Hero Podcasting Network. They both have amazing shows that you can find, and they cover a range of different topics. So if you're looking for something else to listen to while you're waiting on a new episode to drop, I recommend you check both of them out.
Yeah, and if you also want to listen to some other things, you can listen to our brother podcast. If you give a dad a cosplay from Cosplay Dude 637, and if you give a dad a YouTube channel from Ty Tiger, both of these guys do great things with their podcast channels. And so if you've ever wanted to start a cosplay or start your own YouTube channel, stuff like that, both those guys got great shows. So check those out for all the tips and tricks that you need.
Also, if you like the ending theme song, when we get to the end after all the great stuff and we say we love you and bye, if you like that song, make sure that you check out D-Cure. He's the one who made that for us about, I believe it will be 3 years
73 years ago.
73 years ago, back in the day, he made this song for us. But yeah, if you like that, make sure that you go out there and check him out. He has all kinds of amazing music, and he also makes some pretty funny jokes on his TikTok channel as well. Kind of dad joke type stuff, that I like. And so go ahead.
There's another one.
Oh, there's many of us out there. So yeah.
Do you all have like a Facebook group that you all meet together?
Hey, that's a good idea. Nights? Yeah, that's a good idea. We actually meet on rooftops and talk it over.
Well, you're not superheroes. Why are you meeting on rooftops?
We are. We're superheroes. We're bringing laughter to America.
Oh my God. You guys, we also have great merch that's made by Stickers by Stasia, which is Jared's wife.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want any cool merch, like, I get that shirts, or do they get the dad bod shirts as well on there? Or
yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can get that. That's all on our Etsy page, which is on our link tree. All the stuff that we talk about, by the way, in the outro, is all on our link tree, which is the link is in the show notes.
Right.
But yeah. But Stasia also makes merch for Original Geek. Original Geek is the comic book company that we're associated with. We make the comics.
Mm-hmm.
I write the comics. People that draw the comics.
I write the comics.
Write the comics. You can get cool shirts and stuff and our comics at originalgeek.net, or you can get Vengeance issue 4 on our Facebook page. And I promise you every week that I'm gonna get it on our website, but our website builder thing is being a butthole right now.
One day.
But one day I'll be able to get it. I don't know how many emails you got to send to someone before they fix something. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We're not going to complain about our website host.
Right.
Anyways, well, we are, but not on the air.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Vengeance 5 has been completed. It is at the printer right now. They'll be coming soon. So look out for those pre-orders. Pre-orders were supposed to go live yesterday. I forgot. So maybe by the time you listen to this, they'll be live.
Yeah.
Because I just now remembered it. It was a long day yesterday, okay?
Yeah.
A long week.
For sure.
Yeah. We also have Vengeance trading cards that you can get. We have 2 different covers for issue 5 of Vengeance. With each cover, we have 2 trading cards. So if you want all 4 of the trading cards, then you have to get both covers. But maybe if you're nice and you order issue 4 and 5 together when the pre-order comes out, maybe I'll send you all the 4 of the cards anyways. So
that's nice of you.
That's how I be doing things. I
be nice. Doing things like this.
I be doing things like that, being nice to the peoples. They be nice to me back, But I believe that is everything for this week.
Well, also make sure that you rate and review the show. You know, if you like what you're hearing here, make sure that you go out and rate and review it.
Yes. Rate, review, like, comment, share, subscribe. But speaking of sharing, make sure that you share with your friends, your family, your enemies, and share with Cher.
Share with
I mean, she may want to listen to the podcast as well. You don't know.
Hey, she may be already listening. We don't even know that.
Yeah,
So,
we don't even know that.
Yeah,
But share with Cher, or share with Sherry, or whoever the sharing. You know, Barney said share. He knows caring. So let's do that.
So, Nick, I invented a thought-controlled air freshener.
Okay.
It makes sense if you think about it.
Dear God. All right.
All right. We love you guys.
Yep.
We hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time.
Unless you're Jared, we don't hope you have a wonderful week.
Bye.
I'm in my room grounded, but I got a podcast on. He calls us beautiful people, then tells us who we have on. The best part of my day, though we're blocked out in my pods. Tell my friends all about it so that they follow along. And the host is kinda nerdy, but guess what, I am as well. I don't feel so alone, and I began walking out of my shell. Heard a story, I need a connection I haven't felt. I'll be looking for the next one, till then farewell. It's the podcast for me. Have it on, better go see. Listen closely, download and tune in remotely. It's the podcast for me. Have it on, better go see. And listen closely, download and tune in remotely.
This podcast is part of the OIW Podcasting Network.
That's really good at what I do, man.